So after a few days spent mounting the bridge, routing the input jack hole, pressing the string ferrules, and waiting to receive the rest of the parts, here we are. The neck is mounted, jack up temporarily in place, and 2 of the saddles on the 6-saddle bridge installed just to double check alignment between the neck and the body. As for the pickguard, I was looking online for a mint 3-ply official Fender pickguard, specifically without the screw holes for the neck pickup. I prefer to mount the neck pickup directly to the body. It seems to help with resonance. But I was having trouble finding it, and it seemed to be out of stock everywhere I looked and had long lead times. So I got impatient and ran down to my local Guitar Center and grabbed this pickguard. It's a bit pricey, but it's what you can expect from a Guitar Center. It does have the holes for the neck pickup screws, unfortunately, but I'm okay with that for now, and I can actually fit a screwdriver down there to adjust pickup height, so that's a plus for the time being. And I really like the way this mint looks with the Daphne blue. I think it matches with the binding real well. And once again, I'm just lining things up to see how they're going to look. It's looking pretty sharp already, if I do say so myself. And now, after a weekend of measuring, drilling, and soldering, I unveil to you the sexiest looking and sounding parts caster ever. Well, at least I think so, after a few fixes that I'll discuss in a moment. I love the color on this guitar, and with the binding and the mint pickguard and the maple neck. It's just everything that I had hoped for. Looks-wise, definitely. But it wasn't long before I noticed a couple issues. The first one being that, in my excitement, I mounted the pickguard slightly crooked. And it's only noticeable between it and the bridge. You can see it looks a little crooked here. But that gets fixed with a bit of light filing of the pickguard there. No issue, it's just the bridge was mounted straight, most importantly. And with the body, when I was putting the guitar together, I noticed that the pockets for the pickups were not very deeply routed. And this causes the pickups not to be able to be lowered very far. But if you keep your wiring real neat, there's enough room in the pockets to have the pickup seat at acceptable heights. But this might cause problems for people who plan to use different types of pickups, such as stacked humbuckers where the pickup itself tends to be taller. Just something to be aware of. Guitar Fetish can provide specific dimensions if needed. And the other problem was something that I kind of forgot about, to be honest, and it's something to do with this 6-saddle bridge. I've actually had this bridge for a while now. It was once installed on my beater guitar I had in my last video. I tried it because I wanted a Telecaster bridge that would accept an ashtray, but wouldn't have the intonation problems that come with standard 3-saddle Telecaster bridges. It's actually Fender official, but it's kind of rare to see. And that's probably for a good reason, because the way these things are designed and the way that the string tension is unevenly distributed on the individual saddles, it causes the strings to go out of alignment. And if you notice, the string sits on the saddle, like on the side of the adjustment screw. And this imbalance of tension influences the saddle to push towards the high E side of the neck. It's kind of a flawed design. And once it was set up and strung up, because the high E was so close to the edge of the fretboard, I would occasionally have my fingers slip off. I even tried putting a spacer in between the high E saddle and the wall of the bridge. That's what that white thing is there. But it just started bending the bridge. And on top of that, seeing as there's sideways tension on the saddles, the saddle screws have little pressure on them. So as you play, even if you avoid palm muting or touching them, they rattle loose quickly. And not just a little, like a lot. As you can see here, one almost rattled itself completely out of the saddle. And well, this wasn't going to do, so I did some research on compensated saddles and learned about their own inherent flaws. And I just decided for the time, screw it, I'm going to go with a traditional 3-saddle bridge. And there's other 6-saddle bridges out there that would work great, but not really any that accept ashtray bridge covers, and that's important to me for some reason. So I got what was listed as a Fender official 3-saddle bridge, and received what was clearly not a Fender official, but was close enough and had brass saddles, so I threw it on and everything lined up good. I really don't mind using this type of bridge too much. You split the difference between the strings per saddle when intonating, and there's no noticeable out of tuneness, I guess. And as for the neck pocket, I mentioned in part 1 about the neck pocket being routed a bit too big. Now this didn't cause any alignment issues. The neck screw holes are all spot on, and to be honest, you have to look close to see the neck gap for the most part. And this body is actually poplar, which is a more dense wood than the ash or alder that Fender uses on Mexican Telecasters usually. So that extra weight helps with sustain that might be lost with a loose neck pocket. After the last video, a YouTube commenter, Carmen Rago, and I hope I'm pronouncing that somewhat correctly, asked a good question. They asked, about the neck pocket. When you attached your neck to the body, did you try to center it into the pocket? I've never come across this before with any guitar I've owned. Normally the neck pocket is quite tight, so I'm just wondering if this big pocket is going to make attaching the neck a bit difficult. Honestly, I had no problem with the neck being crooked or anything because of the loose neck pocket. The neck mounting holes have tight tolerances, and mine seem to be pretty dead straight. I just need to stress that the most vital part of this build is the bridge mounting. Just take your time marking out the bridge mounting holes, as with any build. It often makes a difference between a guitar that you're proud to play and a guitar that just becomes a wall decoration. Now, I figure I should probably do a demo of it, but to be honest, I really don't have the best setup for recording guitar amps, nor am I the greatest guitarist, so just bear that in mind, and I'll do my best to show you how she sounds. I'm going to be playing through a Fender Blues DeVille 410 Alnico, clean with spring reverb. This DeVille is running Mullard Reproduction 12AX7s and is unfortunately on a leash today. I can't get too loud because of the neighbors, but should be enough. Going through a Sennheiser instrument mic. And I just love the way this neck sounds around the 10th fret. I can't get over it. And this is that out of phase position. Great for triads and stuff like this. So, in conclusion, I'm quite satisfied. This has become my go-to guitar now, and it plays great, sounds great, feels great, looks amazing, and it was just what I had hoped for. This thing gets compliments too, even just hanging on the wall in the man cave, and it's what these XGP bodies are great for. There's such a selection of unique styles and colors. It's a great way to break away from the standard color schemes that you usually see on teles. Anyway, I plan to do another guitar build video in the future using a Les Paul styled neck and body from Guitar Fetish that really catches my eye here. I used to see Gibson Les Pauls in the same blue in catalogs and dreamed of having one, and well, I'm going to make one instead. I'm thinking of this guy with some single coil P90 Fat Cats. Would be gorgeous in both looks and sound. Now this is not XGP, this is Guitar Fetish has these listed as like overstock, and they even admit that they require a bit of work. It's going to need some fret filing and leveling, some buffing apparently, but sounds like a fun project. It might be a while before I can throw down the cash to do this one though. The body and the neck are apparently mahogany and rosewood, which makes it a bit pricier, but it's great for tone and playability, and a set of those P90 Fat Cats will double the price alone there, but it's definitely on the list. So if you're interested in seeing a build video, like a full build video where I actually show you from start to finish the process of building and soldering the electronics and everything, throw me a like or comment or any type of encouraging feedback and I'll get on it. I'll also be restoring and painting a short scale bass soon, as well as some other stuff. So anyway, thanks for watching.